A list of the top 10 invasive species spread through summer recreational activities in Canada. Spotted knapweed. This aggressive invasive plant invades prairies, meadows and open woods. It can take over these habitats and reduce the number and diversity of native plants and animals. Each plant produces thousands of seeds that can be spread when they adhere to ATVs, horses, bikes, hiking boots, and camping equipment. The garlic mustard plant is rapidly spreading across Canada, into forests and woodlands. Garlic mustard can be spread when the small seeds adhere to boots and clothing. Supplied, Aurelia Packet and Times file photo, where it's found, Yukon, British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Garlic mustard. This biennial plant is rapidly spreading across Canada, into forests and woodlands. It can form dense stands that exclude native plants, and can impact forest regeneration. Garlic mustard can be spread when the small seeds adhere to boots and clothing. Where it's found, British Columbia, Alberta, Ontario, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador. Article continued. Belarusian milfoil, known as the zombie plant. This aquatic weed grows quickly in the spring, forming a thick mass of tangled stems underwater. These stems get caught in boat propellers and rudders and reduce native aquatic plants and impact fish habitat. It is primarily spread when boats are moved by trailer between lakes. Where it's found, British Columbia, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. Read more. Conservation group urges Canadians not to spread invasive species. Study shows artificial intelligence can help environmentalists combat invasive species. Fight against invasive species going high-tech in Canada. Round goby. This small, bottom-dwelling invasive fish was found in the Great Lakes in 1990 and is spreading. It reduces native fish populations by eating the eggs and young of species such as lake trout and smallmouth bass. Round goby can be spread when it's used as bait, or when released upstream from dams and waterfalls. Article continued below. Where it's found, Great Lakes basin. Zebra and quagga mussels. These small freshwater mussels have been spreading across North America. They can completely cover the bottom of lakes, impacting fishes, native mussels and water quality. They are spread when they attach to boat hulls, trailers and motors that are moved between lakes. Where it's found, Ontario, Manitoba and Quebec. Merrill ash borer. This non-native invasive beetle has decimated tens of millions of ash trees and continues to spread rapidly. It can quickly kill large areas of ash trees, affecting forests, areas along streams, and rivers and urban forests. It has spread to some areas through people moving firewood that has been cut from infected ash trees. Where it's found, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec and New Brunswick. Spiny waterflea. This small freshwater crustacean feeds on zooplankton in lakes. Spiny waterflea can alter the food chain and affect native fish populations. Large numbers of spiny waterfleas form a jelly-like mass that clogs fishing gear and other equipment. It is spread by water from infected boats or when bait buckets are moved between lakes. Where it's found, Ontario and Manitoba. European and Asian earthworms. Many people are surprised to hear that most of the earthworms they encounter are non-native and invasive, including the nightcrawler, often found in gardens and used for bait. Invasive earthworms damage forests, as they change the soil chemistry and structure. Earthworms can be introduced to forests by anglers dumping their leftover bait on land or in the water, and vehicles can transport earthworms or cocoons in their tire treads. Where it's found, throughout much of southern Canada. Whirling fish disease. This infectious invasive parasite affects salmon and trout. First found in Canada in 2016 in Alberta, this disease invades the fish's cartilage and impairs its nervous system, which causes it to swim in a whirling pattern. It can be spread by moving infected fish as bait or boats between lakes and rivers. Where it's found, Alberta. Domestic cats. Domestic cats can have a significant effect on populations of migratory birds, reptiles and small mammals, and are considered one of the world's 100 most invasive species. Cats that are brought to cottages and camps can kill birds and other wildlife and should be kept indoors, or on a leash outside, where it's found throughout Canada. Source: Nature Conservancy of Canada.